Starting up the thing. Hello.
Hello.
No.
Hello to Tori.
This is deja vu, guys. I don't know.
We are not doing this for the second time today.
Oh.
Tori Heidemann is here with us. She is going to tell us
Yeah.
all about honey event planning
And the honey
and
shop.
the honey shop.
The honey
I'm
shop.
super excited.
Yep.
I'm super excited. But first, we'll hear from our other little Tori.
In the know in the 920.
Just want to save that voice forever.
She's way cuter than this story. Oh my gosh.
No way. We are having a momentous day.
Yeah.
It is the last day
It's our last podcast on this set.
on this
Our
set.
last work day in this
I'm
office.
I feel like I'm a guest at like someone else's Thanksgiving.
I know, this is just like,
I'm
this
not
is a
supposed to
big
be here.
No, this is a big day. We are moving. We are moving across town, moving on up. I'm excited. Are you excited, Nick?
Yeah.
The movers are
I'm
supposed to
pumped.
be here tomorrow morning at like 7
7
a.m. Thank you to A Smooth Move for accommodating us in a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
Jenny Landro came in to my office a couple weeks, like about 2 weeks ago. And I was sitting in there actually with Kelly and Kylie, our other team managers. And Jenny looked at me, and I've known Jenny and Brandon Landro for many, many years now. And we're pretty good friends. We've traveled extensively and things. And she just had that look on her face. And I said, Jenny, do you need to talk to me in my office? And she goes, no, you're probably better off just staying where you're at. You might need their support. And I was like, why? And she's like, well, how would you feel about moving in 2 weeks? I was like, oh, we knew that a move was coming.
Okay.
But we just didn't know that it was coming that quickly. But we decided, luckily, the Landros, being the real estate savvy people they are, they sold this building really fast.
Okay.
And we just decided to get into the new space.
Yeah.
So
Right before
tomorrow's the day.
holidays.
I know.
And it's not
Rip the Band-Aid off.
snowy.
Knock on wood.
Trying to find some.
I know. No, I know.
But, like,
I
that's better.
literally earlier today I got the little alert on my phone. Weather advisory. I'm like, oh
Sad.
great.
1 to
Yeah.
2 inches tonight.
Oh yay. Well, again, we have shout out to A Smooth Move. They're gonna take care of us. We don't have to do any of it. So that's
Perfect.
good stuff. So
Love
anyways,
it.
here we are, last time ever.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still gonna do the podcast. Just gonna be in a different location.
So we've got Tori.
Yep, we've got Tori. And Tori, oh my gosh, I am so excited to talk to you. For
Thank
real.
you.
I was even, when I was in the kitchen before having my little Thanksgiving lunch with the Landro crew, we always try to do that. And, God forbid we don't do it this year with the move and everything. We're still doing it. But I was telling them, I said, Tori's coming in, and I'm so excited to chat with you.
Aw, well, thank you so much.
For
I'm
real.
excited to be here.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So tell us, just start from the beginning. When did you get started on this fun adventure?
Yes. So little backstory. I own a
Yes.
wedding planning, event planning company. We also have a boutique. Two different parts. But I always did wedding photography on the side for my entire adult life. I love photography. It was just something that I did. It was always there. Great side money, whatever.
Sure.
I had previously, before this, worked in law enforcement.
Okay.
And my husband does as well, or did as well. Well, he still does. I don't. But with that, it came to a point where the jobs that we had were very demanding, and we knew that both of us were not going to be able to stay in that field forever.
Sure.
So I had always been interested in the logistics side of weddings, and I had been around it since I was 18. So
Sure.
I saw a gap in the industry in the
Yeah.
Fox Valley, Green Bay, Oshkosh area, and decided, you know what, I can do that, and just kind of jumped right in. I started Honey in 2022. My goal, I think I wanted to try to leave law enforcement by 24. I was forced to leave mid 2023 because we were so busy. So
Okay.
it was a really big expansion. We got really busy really fast.
Yeah.
And we've just been hitting the
That's
ground running
awesome.
since. Yeah.
I just remember, and again, that's a big part of the reason why
Yeah.
I love talking to other small business owners and promoting your business. But I remember how scared I was when I got started.
yeah.
And I remember seeing you on social media, I'm going to do this and it's going to be this big
yeah.
change. And I was like, you go, girl, you got this.
Thank you.
But I'm always nervous for people when they're starting out too, because it's
This
I
is
feel it. I feel it, you know? And oh my gosh, you just like skyrocketed.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's been
Amazing.
It's been amazing. Yeah, it's been awesome.
That's
No
so great.
complaints. Yeah.
I honestly, so if I was not, I always say this, but like if I could choose another career, I love real estate, but if I did something else, I'd totally want to do event planning.
Absolutely.
I
yeah.
love it so much.
You have the personality for it.
Thank you. I'm just really proud of you though too, because I think here, one thing that always made me nervous is here in the Fox Cities, it's not like, okay, when I got married to my husband, we were living in Chicago at the time, and event planners were everywhere, and everybody used one. And it was just kind of like what you did, right? We're in small little, you know,
Yeah.
Midwest town here, and not everybody's used to that, but I feel like it's becoming more and more prevalent.
I think that
right?
after COVID, the wedding industry just completely changed,
Yeah.
especially in our area. And I think what changed for people is that they started to realize that it is beneficial to have someone else doing all of the things so that you can be present and with your family. And I
Yes.
think, you know, the Midwest is always slow to catch up on everything.
Absolutely. It takes a little bit.
But yeah, in our area, for sure, it's starting to catch on very quickly.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so you started in 2022.
Yeah.
Tell us, like, how many weddings have you done since then, roughly?
Oh my gosh, I don't
A
know.
lot?
So here, I'll give you a. So my first year, it was I think I launched in July,
'Kay.
and I just took on a few in 2022, so a
Sure.
handful, under 10.
Okay.
2023, I think we finished off with 60, 70.
That's
Now
amazing.
we're upwards of 100 this year. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's like 2 a weekend all year.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's a lot.
So yeah, and when I heard you say earlier, like, you know, we had to get away from the demands of you know, the legal what I can't even speak today. The police world,
Yes.
right? I mean, I guess it's sort of legal. But I feel like this is probably equally as demanding, right? Just in a different way.
Oh, for sure. Well, you know, no knock on law enforcement, but there is definitely a ceiling. So, you know,
Sure.
I had been doing it for 15 years,
Holy cow.
and you get to a point and you're like, this is what I'm going to make. Like, this is
Yeah.
it.
Right.
So unless, you know, I were to move out of state or maybe teach as my main profession, things like that. So I wasn't going anywhere. And
Sure.
to be honest, and I love my job, love my coworkers, you know,
Yeah.
shout out, but I was getting bored.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I love that. I love it when people just do, you know, they have a
Yeah.
vision and they start something new.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, and now you're at a point where you've got a staff of your own.
Correct. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us. Okay.
Yeah.
So you obviously, like you said, you saw a need for it. It's something that you always kind of enjoyed doing and
sure, yeah.
planning and logistics and all the things. So that's kind of how you got started. So then when did you start? Did you hire people right away or did you kind of start adding on?
After doing my first wedding from the planning side, I quickly realized that I am going to need assistance. So we started with a team of 5, and we
Okay.
are at 30 now.
Oh my
Holy
gosh.
Yeah.
I thought it was
That's
like
amazing.
12.
No.
So what does, I mean, obviously your days are going to all be different,
Yep.
which is fun, right? That's what I
Yeah.
love about real
Yep.
estate too.
Yeah.
No day is completely the same.
Yeah.
But like, what kind of roles do some of your staff play?
For sure. So I'm the director of events.
Good job.
Thanks. And I am the main planner. I do all design, and I
Okay.
handle all the backside of the weddings. But then we have different divisions of staff. So we have people who act as wedding coordinators.
Sure.
So they're not necessarily planning, but I'll handle that, then hand them the wedding, and they will go execute it.
Okay.
We have assistants to those coordinators. They're called event staff. We have a really fun division of people called content creators. So they create wedding content creation packages for people, which is super fun. Not something that I would say should replace videography or photography, but is a really good supplement for those behind the scenes moments that those people don't have time to do because they're taking like professional portraits and beautiful images and things like that.
Yeah.
So we've got them.
Really good idea.
Yeah,
I like
it's
that.
been fun. And those are really, those are the main
That's
divisions.
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. So like if I were getting married,
You could renew.
I'm 100, but right? I know. I always say like people should get to have a wedding like once every 10-ish
I
years.
totally
think.
want to. I'm like,
Right?
it's my turn.
Like styles change, trends change.
You look different.
There's things that
Right.
exactly.
We have more Botox now. We
Right?
look better.
I know, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, but if Nick were to be getting married, weird.
It is weird.
Weird thing. I am getting
Weird
married.
he is. That is so strange.
Tori is helping plan our wedding.
I know. That's so
So-
And
awesome.
we had no idea. Like, that's the coolest part.
Yeah.
That is the
This
coolest
isn't
part.
like- yeah.
Yeah, because we had talked first, and then he was like, "Wait, I think we're using her for
I
our
saw her
wedding."
on the calendar. I was
And
like,
"Oh,
Then
Wait,
did you text
Tori.
or email me? You're like, is this the same you? I'm like, yeah.
is this the
Yeah.
same
It's
you?
the same me.
It's the same Tori."
that was my fiance. She's been.
I love
Yes.
that.
um,
So-
yeah.
Okay, so like if Nick were getting married, which he is, and you know him and Amelia were to call, they would first talk to you.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so you kind of start everything off.
Correct, yeah.
But then are you? So like, let's just say they're like, we want to have a barn wedding, or you know whatever. They give you kind of the vision of it, right? And then
yeah.
you run with it. But then, are you there the day of? Does it just depend?
It depends.
Or yeah,
It depends. You know,
obviously you have to delegate.
Correct,
I
yeah.
know this.
so you know, every wedding's different. Everybody's level that they need a planner or coordinator for is going to be different. So some people are super hands-on. They want
Sure.
to plan and do everything, and they just want you to execute day of. So in those instances, you just need a coordinator. Some people are working professionals. They don't have time. They don't like this stuff, so they want us to do everything for them.
Sure.
You know, that's full planning. So
So like
there's
if
a
I were
scope.
like Tori, I have this Pinterest vision, but other than that I have nothing.
Yeah.
You could just do it.
Yes, and we work with the people, with the people. We're
With
about
the
you.
people. You're with the people.
Yeah.
No, I get what you're saying though.
Yep, yeah.
That's so cool though. If I was just like totally like hands off and
And there's a lot of people
Go
like
for it.
that. They have no idea what they want, or you know,
Yeah.
everything that they like is something completely different. You're like, that's not gonna work.
you're like, how are we going to pull this together? It's probably like when you go to the hair salon and you're like, I don't know.
Make me
One of
look
my
like
best,
this.
yeah, one of my best friends owns a hair salon, right? And she's always like, the stuff people come in with sometimes where they're like, I want this. And it's like, well, for you.
Do you also want extensions?
Yeah, like this isn't really going to work. So do you find yourself like sometimes you kind of got to rein people in, kind of guide people? I mean, ultimately it's what they want,
Oh,
right?
for sure, absolutely.
But-
you know, we'll do our best to make sure that your vision is what's happening. But
Sure.
I don't know if people necessarily think about like how does this come to be? What are
Yes.
the logistics that make this event happen?
Right.
A lot of brides are just like, and then this will happen.
Yes. And you're like,
who's doing that?
okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's a huge team. That's amazing.
you.
So,
Yeah.
okay, as you added on then, like, do you guys have a brick and mortar building?
We do. Yeah.
Okay,
So-
besides your honey shop.
So the honey shop is our boutique side.
Okay.
And our office is in the back of that.
Oh,
building.
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay. And so like with that many employees and such, did you have to get then like an accountant and all that kind of stuff? Because that's always what I'm really lucky here because over on the Landro side, they've always been kind enough to take care of
Yeah.
I pay my employees,
Yes.
but they handle the
All that stuff.
payroll
Accounting and
itself,
payroll.
Yes,
right?
no, I work
that
with
stuff
an
is tough.
accountant. Yeah, the next thing that like my dream, I would love to have an HR person.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
would love an HR person.
Sure.
Love
You'll get there.
Yeah.
Look at what you've done in like 2 years, girl. In 10 years, you're going to be like, no, you're going to be like planning events for the president.
I hope so. Please call me.
Right? Exactly. So what are some of like, I don't know. I just love I love everything about events. I love
I love
events.
it.
I love
Yeah,
weddings. I love
yeah,
all of it.
yeah.
So like, what are some of your favorite things that you've done?
You know, right now, because I think of social media, everyone is just trying like to find the next big thing. Like
Sure.
what's the most unique thing I can do at my wedding? The coolest next best thing.
Sure.
So you're starting to see people that are doing things like having live tattoo artists at their wedding.
Whoa.
Oh,
You know, random surprise musicians.
Nick and Amelia. You can think about that.
Yeah, like
Yeah, my
the
first
live
tattoo.
performances.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love a good surprise like that.
That is kind of cool though.
Yeah. Branding cowhides at a wedding. We've had that this year.
Oh.
We had a live pig at a wedding this year. Weird. That's very weird.
Okay.
But it was, I like a good surprise.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. The pig stayed alive? I just want to make sure.
Yes, they just.
Okay, I
they
wasn't
were
sure if
like-
we were going with
I
like a
know.
luau type of a situation.
I've
That'd
been
be
to one of
really
those.
rough if it was like,
No.
hi, cute little Wilbur. And then,
Oh, it was huge. It was massive, and they were just like pig people.
I
They
love
brought it
that.
in. I don't know. It was so random.
That is so fun.
Right. Right.
That is so
but
fun.
That's, everybody's so unique and they have their
sure.
thing. And it's just fun to see what
Yeah.
they come up with.
Different things come together. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to ask you on behalf of Amelia.
Oh,
Do you have
okay.
any fun like wedding horror stories at this point?
Oh, yeah. You don't have to say names, but
Yeah.
come on, girl. There's
You don't have
got to
to
be
give too much
something.
I'll be totally honest, and this isn't me like being like, I do this, but I really like. If I'm in charge of your event, it is going to be a good event.
Okay.
So we're not going to
Cool.
let anything crazy happen, but there are big personalities in
Okay.
weddings.
Sure.
And I know that
Some
you
are
were
not
telling
fun.
us
Yeah.
you were going through the process of like becoming inefficient because of
Oh,
like somebody like
I'm glad you
canceling
brought
last
that
minute
up.
or something.
Yeah, that is one horror story.
She's like, I'm an
That is the
efficient.
one.
I'm a
You should
musician.
have just asked about it.
I'm a.
I actually didn't think about it until after I asked the question.
So we had a client this year who they were getting married in, I'm not even going to say, they were getting married in a location close by.
Mm-hmm.
And their officiant, the person marrying them, called in sick at like 9:00 at night.
Okay, you can't
the day
do that.
before.
No,
Right.
no, sir. No,
So,
ma'am.
I
Mm-mm.
hope they were sick. I hope you were sick. I hope you were
You better
okay.
have been real sick. No.
Right. So we're calling all our contacts. No one can do this because it's
Yeah.
a Friday wedding. Right.
Oh.
So we're like, what are we gonna do? I decided to get ordained, and I used ChatGPT, and we married them the next day.
I love that.
Nice.
But you know what? Honestly, that just goes to show that like you will fix the problem.
Yeah.
100%.
You know,
Right.
and that's the thing because there's always going to be
Solver.
things that come up, right?
They're absolutely. No wedding is perfect. Things do and will happen, and we will make sure they happen.
No, I love that. And but I love what you said too, because just having that confidence, I think, makes the person that's hiring you and working with you feel better. Like, okay, she's going to make sure that this is okay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the thing that's cool about us is that, if I were to get sick or something were to happen where I couldn't be there, if whoever's primary that day, we're going to plug somebody else in who's just as good because I've vetted them, I've trained them. I'm not going to have anybody on my team that's second best. So that's just kind of how we roll.
I love that. And that's
Yeah.
so important too, right? Because again, at some point, it's your baby, it's your business,
Yep.
it's all the things. I get that. But you need great people in place because
Oh,
you
yeah. We get
cannot
one shot.
work
Yep.
24/7. You
Well,
can't.
there's that. And these moments are so important for people. It's like
Yeah.
you can't be off your game
Yeah.
for those moments.
Totally agree with you. That is
Yeah. The
so true.
organization's very good. We like
Yeah.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know if Kelly, I don't know if you know about this. So Tori's actually got this really cool like planning software system.
Oh,
we use. And it's got
that's
like
cool.
all the stuff. You can set up your seating charts. There's a spot where you can put all of your like receipts from the different vendors and
Sure.
send it along to them so that they have it all in one place.
Did you create all of this?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's like a project management software.
Okay.
Yeah,
But,
that's really
That's
cool.
really nice though, because then it's just like
Yeah.
everything is just kind of plugged in,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Yep. And everything that we're doing. So if I call Kelly because Kelly's doing flowers, I'm going to talk about, I called Kelly and she said this. And so you always know what we're doing.
Sure.
So there's a lot of transparency within the software too.
That's awesome.
Love a good software.
Got notes on like what time all the
really
vendors
cool.
need to be there and like.
Oh, I
where to
love
go.
that. I love that. You know what?
You want to get
Tori,
married?
you know what?
What are we
No,
doing?
At some point, I'm going to send you. I'm going to find it. And in fact, oh my gosh, I took it out recently because I was looking at, Bill and I just had our 15th wedding anniversary. Thank you.
Congratulations.
And I took out our little like memory book.
Yeah.
And in there, I had a copy of my Excel spreadsheet
I love it. Yeah.
from the day of. Color coded. I was so proud of myself.
Yeah.
Like I had everybody, if you were this color, you needed to be here at this
No.
time. If you were oh yeah,
It was a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever need a part-time job.
I know, right? It sounds so fun for real. I would honestly love it. What are you seeing as like some of the like what's kind of, and not that again, to each is their own,
Yep.
right? If you want to have, do you remember those like paper mache like wedding bells, right? That you would
Yes.
back in the day.
Oh,
like if you
yeah.
want to have those, you have those,
Yep.
Yeah.
right? If you want to have a cake, like Mom's, we love you, Mom, that had the
giant.
stairway
Oh, yeah.
things and the precious moments on them
I actually
leading to
don't
like a
remember
water.
that.
80s cakes that were like.
Yes, if you there was like
Brand.
75 cakes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you want to do that, you do that. But what are you seeing like as kind of some of the things that are maybe going and then coming?
So right now, what's really okay? I'll tell you what's big. 2024, 2025. What is big? Black and white. Black and white.
Ooh.
This is the year of black and white. Next year
Okay.
is also the year of black and white. And I hate to break hearts because a lot of people are like, I'm going to do something super unique and classic and timeless. No one's doing this, and everyone's doing black and white. But I love
Okay.
it. I love
Okay.
it. Black's my favorite color. It's fine.
Yeah.
So they're doing that. The single tier, like vintage heart-shaped cakes, those are
Okay.
really big right now.
Okay.
I'm excited to see what
Cool.
comes after that. They're
Sure.
cute because people are just doing a small cutting cake and something
Sure.
else for dessert.
Yep.
Things that are going away, definitely like bouquet toss, garter toss. Nobody's doing that anymore.
Yeah.
We're seeing
Those tend to sometimes get a little awkward in the past. Do you know what I mean? At
They
certain
are.
weddings,
They are.
yeah.
It's so staged. Yep.
Yeah. So that's good.
Yeah.
What about like grand? Okay, so the first time my husband, who's from Illinois, came up here for a wedding, he goes, "What is this grand march thing?" He was like blown away. He's like,
Yes.
"What is this thing?"
So I feel like when we were younger,
Yes.
it was always the grand march to the dance floor, right? Like that kicked the party off. That's how we get things going. That people really don't do that anymore. I mean, you'll see it every once in a while. They're like, "Yeah, that's how we're gonna start it," and you're like, "Okay."
Sure.
But most people will just have some sort of grand march or an introduction of the wedding party right before
Sure.
dinner. So
Okay.
we
Which
line
makes
'em up.
sense.
Yeah.
That part makes sense.
sure.
But like really, truly back in the day.
It was the dance.
Mom's
yeah.
wedding. Shout out to Mom. I'll never forget this. She had a,
What year was this?
oh my gosh, this is when she,
This would have been 2000.
well, yeah, you weren't born.
Oh.
I'm talking about her wedding. I'm talking about her
To-
wedding
to
to Jason.
The OG.
Yes, your
That
dad.
would
So
have been 1990.
I was alive,
I was born in
obviously.
1990.
Yep, I was alive. I was 10. And it was
Yeah, what was it like? I love
pouring
this. I'm gonna close my
buckets,
eyes.
pouring buckets, raining that whole day. And it was on a Friday at the Darboy Club when the Darboy Club was
Love.
still the Darboy Club, right?
Love this.
And she did. She had the cake. You know, it was beautiful. We had a balloon arch. I think it was like a
Yep.
heart shape. Yep, we had all those good things. And that night, because it was pouring buckets, rain, for the grand march, it was like at like 10:30. Everybody in the wedding party, you know, you line up in the hall, like time for the wedding party to line up in the hall, and they go out there. And then we came out and we paraded around with umbrellas to the song "I Love a Rainy Night."
Oh my God.
It was really cute. It was actually really cute. But, you know, I've seen every variation of this over the years. I'm talking, you know, everybody gets out there in their Packer jerseys, or
Yeah.
like, you know, one of them is the doctor, so they come out and they're like, everybody's wearing scrubs or whatever. It's just weird to me.
That's an old thing. Yeah, that's the pig wedding we had. They did a grand march like that where they dressed like every big moment in that couple's lives, like their Letterman jacket and, you know, my
Okay.
college shirt.
Sure.
They did something similar. But
Yeah.
that trend is it's very dead. But
That's dead.
sometimes you
Okay.
see it and you're like, oh.
Yeah. It can be cute,
Yeah, it
right?
is.
It can be
It is.
cute, but it's kind of dead.
Yeah.
And then you said bouquet tosses, garter toss, all
Yeah,
that's
none
done.
of that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And black and white is in.
That is in. Oh man, I can't wait to see what's next. Before that, it was rust orange. Everything was rust
Ooh.
orange. The year before, it was sage green and gold charger plates.
Yeah.
Ugh. So I can't wait to see what's next. I can't wait.
Are you seeing more and more like wedding parties, like the bridesmaids are all choosing their own dresses? It feels like that's
Yes.
more and more of a thing, right?
Absolutely. And I really love like a mixed texture pattern.
Yeah.
You're seeing patterns on bridesmaids' dresses starting
Yeah.
to appear, and I think that's super fun because you haven't seen that in the
Right.
past.
Yeah. I love that. When I see a picture of like a bunch of bridesmaids and like one or two of them has like a floral
Right. Well, and then
dress.
they're
Don't
not
you love
all-
that, Nick?
Don't
When you
you?
see that?
Yeah, that was cool.
He's like, yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, everybody's body shape's different.
Well, that's-
So, you know, they can choose what they feel comfortable in as
Yes.
opposed to.
And there's always a lot of pressure, like, because if everybody's doing like the same dress, there's always like, you know, you need to stay fitting in that dress for a while. so it's
Correct. That's what she's saying. It
Yeah.
can be tough because you try to pick something, and actually, for my wedding, the girls did all have the same dress. But I will say this: it was going back to the black. We didn't really have black and white, but we had black. But the classic breakfast at Tiffany's
Love.
black dress.
Yeah.
That's what they had. So at least it was something that pretty much complimented
So
everybody.
did you have like the light blue and pearls?
No, I
and
wish.
things?
That would have been
Okay.
super cute.
Okay.
But the dresses reminded me very much of that.
Yeah.
Everybody had the same dress. But it's tough because you have different body shapes, sizes, all the things, and then you
Right.
feel bad. Like, you don't want to be like, hey, you got to wear this, right?
Absolutely.
Be nice to your bridesmaids.
Be nice to them. They're spending a lot of money.
Yes.
For sure. And
for
they're
sure.
dealing with you.
Exactly. Okay. So let's get serious now. How far out should we be planning a wedding? I mean, ideally. Obviously,
Ideally-
some people get engaged and,
Well, it depends on your financial situation, who's contributing to the budget.
Sure.
I would say at least a year is ideal,
'Kay.
if not more, just because, with the trend of COVID, everybody's realizing the importance of being together. They're also like, venues are very much in demand right now. So
Sure.
you're starting to see things like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday
Sure.
weddings. So venues, they get booked up really, really quick. So, it's tough to get dates sometimes. And I think some people also underestimate how quickly they should book other vendors, like hair and makeup, for example. For some reason, people are like, it's all right. We'll book them when we can. They book up right away. And so I run into that a lot where people are scrambling to find a good team for themselves.
Sure. And are you able, I'm guessing you have all sorts of recommendations for
do.
everything.
Yeah, I do.
That's cool.
She gave us plenty of recommendations on stuff that we asked for. And
I love that. I love that.
very helpful.
Okay, so it also feels like, again, the Darboy Club, may it rest in peace.
Yes, R.I.P.
R.I.P. Darboy Club. Starlight Club is still around.
Yep, the Best Western in Best Western. What's the other
Bridgewood?
one?
Yeah.
In Neenah, what's that one called?
That's the Bridgewood.
Bridgewood.
Yeah, some of those
Like, they're
places are still around.
around.
Like banquet facilities are still around.
Yep.
But doesn't it feel like in the last many years it's really gone more and more towards,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
right? Like just more unique venues.
Yes,
Which
and-
I love. I think
Oh,
that's so
yeah.
great.
I always wonder, like, I love them. Right now, what's really in is that industrial look. So you're looking at, like, West Edison, Poplar Hall, Gibson, and Oshkosh. Places like that have, open beams and exposed brick.
Yes.
Black and white.
Yeah, the
Bleh.
stealing glass. yeah.
It's so cool
What
though.
happens when that goes, like, what happens when
Right.
that goes? What's next?
Right.
Because before it was barns. That was huge for a while.
That's true. Barns were huge.
And now they're not.
Yeah.
Not, at least not in this area.
Sure.
Yeah, we're doing
Are-
ours over at High Cliff.
Are people still booking the barn? I mean, some people are still doing the
Yeah.
barns, right? They're just not as big.
Not as big. I'd say I see that a lot more for some reason in the Madison area, which I
Okay.
wouldn't have thought. But I
Sure.
see if I'm traveling to that area, I'd say 50% of the time it's a barn wedding.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe bigger cities like, hey, let's go
Yeah.
rural for the wedding.
Yes.
You know?
Probably. Yeah.
This is just fascinating. The other cool thing that I've seen is you have this really cool flower cart
Yes.
situation,
Yes.
right?
Well,
How did that come to life?
I feel I may retire the flower.
No, Tori, you've ruined my whole
But
day.
we can still talk about it.
Okay, let's
I don't
talk
know.
about
I
it.
haven't.
Let's
It's
talk
not like
about
a
it.
total
Let
decision.
me convince you.
It's really
keep it.
heavy. Number one.
Okay.
Number two, there are a lot of people that do it and do it very well, and it's their primary thing. So I don't remember where I saw this. It was definitely out of state, and I'm like, I am totally doing that because I love flowers.
Okay.
My mother-in-law's a florist and a designer.
Oh, cool.
And so, like, she's got a lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
I dabble a little bit in floral. It's super relaxing, but I've decided I don't want to ruin floral for myself and do it all the time. And
I
then
got you.
Not make it fun. You know
Yep,
what I mean?
I get you. Yep. Sometimes
But we
if
do
the
have
hobby
that.
turns into the work,
Yeah.
then it gets to be like, I don't like it anymore.
Right.
I get it.
and then, yeah.
But I just remember seeing this cool cart. What did you call? What was it? It didn't have a name or something.
Yeah, so it was called the Honey Floral Bar. It's still parked
Yes.
outside our boutique.
Oh,
Sometimes when we
cool.
do
It's
events,
so cute.
yeah, so you can just pick flowers and build bouquets.
Nice.
And,
I just think that's like the funnest thing.
it is. It is. I know.
Can you please have that at your wedding, Amelia,
Yeah,
Tori?
We'll check
Yeah.
the budget.
for sure. For sure.
I'll pay for the floral bar.
Okay.
It's so fun.
You've heard it here first,
It's on the
folks.
internet.
Yes.
But do a lot of people still do stuff like that? Are more florists
Yeah.
coming up with that kind of thing?
There are some independent people that is their primary business and that is what they do. And
Sure.
their primary thing is that flower bar.
Yeah.
And, it's hard to compete with them because
I get that.
they have like vehicles or like extravagant
Right.
setups. And you're like, I don't have time for that, but
Yeah.
here's my cart.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. In fact,
Yeah.
actually, oh my gosh, this summer there was like some sort of craft fair thing that I went to, and I can't remember. It was like a night market actually in Little Chute, downtown Little Chute,
Yeah.
and it was the summer. And there was one of those old like vintage cars.
Was
I
it
want to say it was like
mobile
baby-
mini trucks, probably.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and she does a
and the
fantastic
flowers
job.
and
Yeah.
all the things. And I was like, this is so
So
cute,
cute.
so picture worthy.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
I
ma-
love that.
And there's so many like that, and you're like, oh, you keep doing it, I'll just come visit. Like,
Right? Exactly.
Yep.
What is the most memorable thing you can think of? First thing that comes to your mind in terms of somebody's done it at their wedding.
Memorable thing.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that it's just the the moment of awe, like the unexpected moment. So
Yeah.
it's as simple as we've got cold sparks where they're doing an entrance and
Love
all of a sudden
those.
they go off, or they've got a
Yes.
fog machine. You know, just those big grand things that you have no idea that's going to happen, and guests are like, oh my god, you know, like,
Right.
do it again.
You're not exactly because you're just not kind of expecting it. And then
Yeah.
it's like, oh, that's so cool.
Right, and then it
Yeah.
just creates like an atmosphere and a moment for the people, and you're like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so fun. Oh, I just love all of this.
Yeah.
Any questions that you have,
Yeah,
Nicholas?
Nick.
on,
I feel
Nick.
like you also do balloon artistry.
Oh God.
Oh my
do.
gosh,
I
Tori,
do.
you're just a jack of all trades. Next, she's gonna say she also like cooks dinner too, and
I don't cook dinner.
Well, you mentioned like balloon arches, and I think I've seen
I do.
you had like
yeah.
one.
Yes, design is part of what we do. And,
Okay.
Yeah.
I do balloon art. Yeah. So balloons are back. That's like a 80s, 90s things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Balloons are
They're
back.
back?
I wouldn't say so much in weddings,
Okay.
but I do know how to throw up a good balloon arch, and
Yeah.
that's something that we can offer.
I guess.
you know what? That is true. That's a good point because, like, think about this: when we did Brandon's
Yeah.
40th birthday party 2 years ago, we had the huge giant balloon situation
Yeah.
going on, and
Baby showers, birthday
Yeah.
parties.
And that's another important point too, is that you don't just do weddings, because we've been talking about weddings a lot, but
Yeah.
you do events.
Yes.
events,
Luncheons.
so
Any
any sort of
events.
anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a good point. Let's say I want to have, I don't know, some sort of baby shower, or bridal shower.
Yeah.
You
we
just
do it.
you'll do it.
Yeah, it's when it comes to the stuff like that, those are smaller scale events, so they're custom pricing. We also do on the flip side really large corporate events, so which I love. Please call me.
That's amazing.
For real, I really do love a good corporate or like independent company, small company event. Like I think they're
Yeah.
just fun when you can give them the atmosphere that. Because think about it. If you think about if either of you worked like a 9 to 5 before this,
Yeah.
you were that person tasked to like throw the Christmas party. And then you hate the Christmas party because you're doing the
That's so
Christmas
true.
party.
So true. Shout
helping
out
them-
to Jordan on the other side of the building who always plans. Well, I mean, actually, I shouldn't say that. Jordan does a lot of the execution of it. In fact, last year she got us the cold sparks, and they were such a hit.
See?
What you were talking about. Now we have to have them like forever, every holiday
Get
party.
you- That's hilarious.
But we had it at Poplar Hall last year. It was amazing. Jenny Landro is a visionary. She does all sorts of crazy things. We had, what did we have? Oh, we had a caricature artist, which was really
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
That
just
was cool.
fun stuff like that. But it would be nice. I see what you're saying. Like just let you guys take it over.
Yep.
Give you the vision, let you take it
And
over.
then your employees aren't working on the day that they're not supposed to be working,
Yes.
but then end up working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a big thing with my wedding too, is I felt like, just again, all of the because I am such a planner, I was like, okay, once we get to the part of the night where, some people start leaving, but you don't want to stop having your fun and talking to the people
Yeah.
you're talking to, but mom wants to bring the gifts out to the car, and it
Yep.
becomes like this whole thing, right? And it's like, who's going to coordinate and orchestrate all
Right.
that? It's nice to have somebody that does that for you.
And I think what I'm seeing in brides right now is so many of the people I work with are type A, which I'm super type A. Like we love you, it's okay.
I think you kind of have to be in
have to
order to
be.
stay really
Yep.
organized, right? Yeah.
And I think that sometimes that struggling to let go of that control is what they're facing. But then they can't relax, and you see them and they're like, is this happening? Did they cut the cake? Yes, they did. And you're like, guys, like enjoy the moment because this isn't, you're not going to get this one back.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but I also think going back to like your confidence of just saying like, hey, if I plan this, it's going to be right. I think that goes such a long way. We've literally just yesterday, we were doing a training kind of here in the office just about, when you're working with people, yes, be professional, but also be conversational.
Yeah.
And let them know that we know what we're doing.
Yep.
Ultimately, everything is their decision, their choice. But I think people do appreciate like having someone that is a little bit of a presence or a force that just kind of says like, don't worry about this. Because I know when I was getting married, I had a day of coordinator, and
Yeah.
she was super sweet. She was very nice, but I didn't feel like, I felt like I was
You're still in control.
still having to control
You
everything.
have to, if you're planning or coordinating, you have to find that fine line between I'm going to tell you what to do,
Yeah.
but you're going to enjoy it.
Right. Yes.
You know?
Yes. Yeah. Like, I'm going to
Yeah.
tell you how this is going to go, and it's going to go the best way.
Yep.
But you're going to be super happy,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And sometimes, you see those people that are maybe a little too meek, or they're, they don't know how to command a room. And then some people are like, we're going to do this. And you have to be like, hey,
Kind of like in the
calm
middle,
down.
right? Yeah, that would be my
This is a
problem.
wedding.
If Tori hired me, I would be like, all right, listen,
Yep.
I know you came in here with your vision, but now I tell my daughter already, my daughter Tori, I'm like, Tor, I just want to let you know that there's very few things in life at this point that your mother really gets to really be excited about. When you get married, I will take care of all of it. She's only 9 right now, so
Blank
she's like,
check.
she's probably like,
okay, yeah. And then someday she'll be like, Mom, we're eloping. Don't do that,
Don't do
Tori.
it to her, Mom.
Yeah.
Let her be involved.
So you travel though too
Yeah.
for weddings.
Yeah.
Have you traveled anywhere like,
Extravagant.
yeah, fun?
No, not
Okay.
really.
But you would?
Yeah, I totally would.
Okay.
Like Chicago and
Yeah.
Illinois,
Sure.
Minnesota areas.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to elope, call me, please.
Absolutely. Where do most people, I mean, obviously your business is probably very heavily referral based.
It is,
Which is
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
But where do people, where do you do a lot of marketing and advertising, or do you find like you don't really have to?
A
Like
little bit
outside
both.
of, do you know what I mean?
Man, yeah, and I love social media. I love social media marketing. Like, oh yeah, let me do that. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I am to a point where I don't have to push as hard as I did in the beginning, and
Sure.
we're only 2 years in,
Which
but
is amazing. Yeah.
yeah. No, I do a ton of social media marketing.
You do a very impressive amount of social media, yes.
Yes,
Sure,
I've seen it too. And I think that's
Yeah.
huge because it's just
Yeah.
that staying top of mind,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Repetition.
The Instagram and the TikTok and the Facebook. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
try.
so cool. You're just like really just living my dream life.
Oh my god.
For real.
Should we hang out after this?
I think so. Okay, so not only are we moving offices, but today's my last day in real
Yeah.
estate.
Yeah. Welcome to Team Honey.
Yes.
Surprise.
So, yeah, and then you
Nick,
also...
I give you the business.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Enjoy.
It'll be dead in a year. So you've also got then the honey shop, which is the
Yes,
cool
the honey shop.
Yeah.
Tell us
boutique
about that.
shop.
I know it's exciting. It's just not as involved, I guess. Yeah.
I think it's really cool.
Thank you. Okay.
Where did that idea, how did that come about, that part of it?
So, at our first office, which was downtown Menasha, which if you have not been to downtown Menasha,
It is cute as a button.
It is.
It's
They've done-
cute.
That city is trying so hard. And
Shout
it's
out,
beautiful.
yes,
Yeah.
to the mayor and everybody involved.
Yes.
I completely
Yeah.
agree. Downtown
Yes.
Menasha is cute.
Especially like they'll have a Christmas event coming up. Go to it because it's like, am I in a movie? Like it's
Yeah.
so good.
I love that.
But our office was there to start with, and it was, I don't know. I just was like, oh, I should have a little boutique area where I buy things that I want, and then if anybody else wants it, they can buy the extra.
Sure,
And so
yeah.
we had a little space, and I really enjoy it. Like I
Yeah.
enjoy social media. I like buying stuff for people to also enjoy,
I
and so.
also love that.
Right. So we moved into the large office. I have a huge space, and I'm like, oh, what am I going to do with it?
Yeah.
So we decided to make it into a boutique. But what's cool is not all of it is mine. So I opened it up to other people that they might not have a brick and mortar location. They're an online store.
Oh, that's so cool.
They're a crafter. They're an artisan. They're
Yeah.
someone like that. So it gives them a space to display and sell their items. So it's a consignment boutique. But
I love this.
yeah, I think
I'm going to have to come visit.
it's so cool.
It is super cute.
So,
That is so
yeah,
adorable.
just
So
gives-
where are you located now, dear?
we are in Sherwood, so we're right next
You're
to
in
High
Sherwood,
Cliff
right
Golf
by High
Course.
Cliff. That's
Yep.
right.
Yeah, they share
Okay.
a parking lot.
Yep.
That is so cool.
And now the golf course is closed for the season, so there's no golf carts in front of our building. So it's like
You're like,
right
you're just
there.
right there.
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. This is just, I just love everything that you've done. Like you're just
you.
so creative with all of it. And I'm excited to see what you're going to do next.
Thank you.
What do you think have been some of your biggest challenges
Oh, yeah.
in starting this business and, getting to today? What have you learned?
For me personally, I struggled. I was in the military. I was in law enforcement. I worked a 9 to 5. So like I was very regimented in the way that my days were. And so to then be like, I'm not employed by anyone right now but
Right.
myself.
It's like, this is
Like,
weird.
who's
yeah.
in charge of my day? So,
Yeah.
you know, that was a big adjustment, was learning how to
Yeah.
schedule myself and
Sure.
realizing like if I didn't work until 5 that day, it was okay.
Sure.
I didn't have to fill the hours. So
Yes.
I definitely am way busy right now.
Isn't it funny how, they always say, like, become an entrepreneur, you can work any 80 hours a week that
Right.
you want.
Right. But in the beginning, I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, I hear you.
You know?
I always joke, but when I first started real estate, and I've been with the Landros the whole time, we were in a little building in
Yeah.
Kaukauna at that time, and I'd be there working, and I came from corporate America before that, and it'd be like 3:00, and I'd be like, okay, I think I'm done, and I think I'm gonna go, and then I would like go in and I'd be like,
And did you feel guilty?
Jenny, Brandon,
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave, and they're like, okay, like you're your own independent contractor, bye.
Right,
I felt like I had to
right.
ask somebody. Like it was so weird.
Right.
And
Oh, yeah.
even still, sometimes I'll have these moments where it's like, yeah, we're like sitting here joking around or doing this or doing that, and it's like, okay, we're not actually like working at this moment. This is really weird. But we work a lot of other moments.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yes.
Right? I mean,
the other moments make up for those.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
But I know
100%.
exactly what you mean. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, that was a big transition. And I also think, hiring people
I
and
was just gonna say,
learning
you
that
mentioned
curve.
HR, right? Like
Oh.
having an HR person.
Yes, I would love an HR person.
What are some of the things you've learned about having employees?
The biggest struggle, the toughest employees I have, and I love you guys if you ever listen to this, but are the kids under 18.
Oh, sure.
Oh
yeah.
my goodness. I've had a lot of bad bosses. I'm sure everybody has.
Yes.
So you don't want to be like those people. But, when you're put into a position of authority, then you all of a sudden are like, oh, I have to write a policy for this now because I can't have you do that again.
Yep. Isn't
And
it funny
so
how that
it's tough.
develops as you go?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I think back to some of my previous leaders and supervisors. I'm like, oh, they weren't that bad. I should call them and see if they're
Yeah.
okay.
Right? You're like, you know what? When I look back on it,
Right. Like, I'm really sorry.
I take a little bit of ownership here
Yeah.
myself. No, I totally agree with you, though. It's tough, and not to be all, I'm in my 40s and old lady, but like,
Yeah.
there is a difference in the generations. It's I think it's becoming more and more noticeable. I think there's
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of kids that get out of, college,
Yep.
let's just say, and they're taught to expect and want the world right off the bat, which is great.
Yep.
But like typically that's not where things begin,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
And so when they're like, well, why aren't you giving me everything right this moment? Why am I not the new CEO? It's like,
I have to have a sign. And this, like, guys, don't tell anyone.
okay, other than this
Except for you
podcast.
two.
Shh.
I have a sign in my office for the girls that work there in the store that are younger, and it says things like, you have to greet the customers. You have to answer the phone. Like very basic, like,
Sure.
Yeah.
guys, you have to talk to people. Like,
Sure.
we want this to be a good environment. Not that they're doing a bad
Yes.
job, but it's almost like they weren't taught that.
That's such a good
Well,
point, though, too. And
there
I
is a
think
cultural
especially with our
difference
phones,
in
Yes.
phones in
Yeah.
this world.
The soft skills are very different because even Kelly and I have a 12-year difference, and Kelly is a lot better with phone communication and like actually picking up the phone and just getting answers and all that kind of stuff. Whereas people more like around my age and stuff are
Text heavy.
yeah,
Which
like
texting can be
Right.
great.
we're more on the internet and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we
go
read into it too
Snapchat.
much, and we're like, why is
And
there a
that's
period on the end of that?
Exactly. Why didn't they put an exclamation mark there? Why is that? Then that's the thing. Texting can be great, but I think you got to know when it's like, okay, I can sense
Yeah.
that something in this conversation, I better pick up the phone, right?
I had a buddy when I was still at the PD, and he had oh gosh, how old was his son? Maybe like 11, 12. And, he worked one shift and his wife worked another. So the kids weren't always home with parents. So
Sure.
he would have to call and check in on them.
Yeah.
So he'd call. And he said at first when he started calling the phone, his son would pick up. Just listen and breathe. And he'd be like,
Yes.
hello, you have to say hello.
That is so funny because actually, shout out to my little Jaybird, my 12-year-old son,
Yeah.
almost 12. We've been through that. He has
Yeah.
an Apple Watch, and I could tell he was picking it up. I'm like, Jay, say hello. You have to say hello.
And how did he respond? Was he like, yeah?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, like, okay, mom, just what do you need? And I'm like, so you're right. There is such a
There
difference
is.
in that.
Yeah.
There is such a difference in that. And I've gone places too, now that you mention that, where, salons or, different customer service based places, and you see these younger people, and yeah, they're probably wonderful, lovely people, but like
Sure.
you walk in the door and you're like saying hi to them.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Right? Like where we come from, I'm not saying you're as old as I am, but we come from more of an era of like, oh, the door just opened. Who's here?
Right.
Let's go greet them.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's different. Interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've never felt old until I had these like young teenage employees, and I'm like, wow, I don't know what skibbity means. Like,
I know, right? Oh my gosh. All
you
the
use that in a real sentence.
right? It's like, is that a real thing? Yeah.
Okay.
So do you feel like maybe that's one of your biggest, I'm not saying hurdles, but just like learning, you have
learning curve.
30
It's a learning
employees.
Curve.
That's a
Yeah.
lot.
I'm
That's
in
a
charge
lot
of
of
a
people.
lot of people and a
Yeah.
lot of events, and it's
You're in charge of a lot of things, Tori. You got a
Yeah.
lot going on.
yeah.
Now, when you started this, was your husband, was your family like, were they excited for you? Were they sort of like, good job, like I feel like when I first started real estate, my husband was behind me, but I don't think any of us expected that it was going to be what it is today.
Yeah.
And with what you're doing, is that kind of how?
Yeah, I think when I first started, like when I was still, working 9 to 5 and also doing this, I don't think my husband expected me to take the jump, but
Sure.
we had to make the decision together to do it.
Yeah.
And when we did, he was like, "Yeah, go for it." I'm like, "What?"
You're like, are you sure? You're supposed to say no.
Okay, I will.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
they've been really supportive, but
That's
no, I
awesome.
don't think they expected it for sure.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Do you just work like insane hours?
In our busy season, I work a lot. I'm really crabby.
What's the busy
sometimes.
season for weddings?
This year, okay, so wedding season really is like, June to October.
Sure.
This year, our crazy, horrible, very, very busy season was August to October.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
we're still busy this month too.
Sure.
Winding down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have some people planning like winter weddings?
Yeah,
and
I
things?
love a good winter wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that too. I love that.
We just booked a client yesterday. They're getting married this winter, and they're getting married in an igloo.
Ooh.
That is so
Isn't that
cool.
cute?
That is so cool. So that's another thing I think, and we were talking about this recently, Nick,
Yes.
too, is like I feel like more and more people are getting not just creative, but like paring down on how many people. Not everybody. I'm not saying that, but like I feel like it used to be, especially in the good old Midwest, like everybody had 300 people at their
Yeah,
wedding.
it did
you
used to
know,
be that way,
and you
yeah.
couldn't even really like you didn't even know who you're like, oh, who's that over there? Mom's friend's aunt's
Yep.
cousin is here.
Yep.
And I feel like you don't even have enough time to make it meaningful or talk
Right.
to people.
No,
right?
I would say average, especially in our area now. 150 is an average wedding.
Sure.
Now.
Yeah.
And weddings are so expensive. They're so expensive now.
Yeah.
So you almost have to.
They really are. It's definitely different than the days of the $11 chicken
Right.
dinner plate and
Yeah.
everything's included. And Nick's like, yeah,
Sorry, Nick.
I know.
Yeah, we were looking at plated meals, and then we were like, oh, the buffet's only half the cost. That'll save us thousands of dollars.
But, and it's hard to get a good plated meal. It really
Yeah.
is.
And do you know what? I was saying that to him recently, though, too. I totally agree with you. I think buffets are amazing.
I do too. Half the time they're cold. And there are caterers in this area that do it fantastic, but
Yeah.
not a lot.
Not a lot. It's hard when you're serving food, I think, on that big of a scale.
Right.
We've talked about this, too. Like, just having, 100 steaks
Yes.
all at once ready to go. It's
Right.
like, eh.
Like,
Yeah.
unless you've got an oven that it's coming out fresh.
Yeah,
Right.
that's pretty
Yeah.
tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Totally
going
agree.
up to the buffet. I was telling him, like, one of my favorite weddings, shout out to my little friend Allie, who used to work here. She had an outdoor wedding, the big, beautiful tent, all the things, but they did like a taco bar.
Yeah. Oh, I
so
love a
fun.
good taco bar.
So fun.
Pizza buffet.
Yes. A pizza buffet.
Pizza buffet.
Love that. You could get like different pizzas from all throughout the Fox cities, all the
Oh
cool
yeah.
places.
That'd be kind of cool.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
the
The possibilities are
possibilities are
He's
endless.
loving this.
Yeah.
Kelly, if you just want to chip in some money here, I think we can implement some of these ideas.
What about
Sponsored by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we do that? Just a quick
Davies
little
Homes team.
sign. Yeah, a quick little sign. What
the
about
napkin.
like, are people still doing a lot of the photo booth, this sort of thing, or is this kind of going in a different direction now?
You're starting to see that trend die a little bit. Like I said, people want to be the next best thing. They want to do the biggest, best thing. I'm seeing photo booths replaced with content creators.
Okay.
You know, and if they're not doing the photo booth, maybe they've got the Polaroid, or maybe they have the caricature station. You know, they've got something.
Sure.
They always have some form of entertainment, but I am seeing that trend die a little bit.
There was one thing that we really liked where it's like the bride and groom are like seated here. They have like a little display kind of a couple feet behind them, and then everybody that's at the wedding can like take turns, like go stand behind the bride and groom. Photographer takes a photo because then it's perfectly framed every time.
Oh, that's a good idea.
They don't have to go around making sure they got everybody. Everybody that wants a photo with the bride and groom just gets in line and you get it done with.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do see that.
I want to do that.
People call it the Mission Impossible game. Yeah.
I love
Do
that.
it before dinner.
Yeah.
Don't do it after
Like
dinner, because
cocktail
then it
hour.
looks like then there's food everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I think you start to lose your
Yeah.
your
Right.
captive
And
audience.
they're like, ugh.
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
They're like, now we're at the bar, okay?
Yep. Yeah.
So one thing that I'll share, I don't think Fiona would mind if I told this story. Fiona, that's on our team. When she got married a couple of years ago, they had their wedding at a hotel.
It was in like Waukesha.
Yeah, gorgeous wedding. And I don't remember all the specifics, but essentially the day after, they went to start opening up their cards and such from their. Did you hear this story?
Yeah, I'm very familiar with it.
Yeah,
I
and
feel like you might have told me this story.
they
if I'm remembering right.
like a lot of money was
I think I
taken
did tell you this
Yeah,
story.
you did tell me
from
this
their box.
Everything that was cash was stolen from all of their envelopes. They ended up finding out because it was in a locked room that only the hotel employees could get into.
Yeah.
So they found out it was an employee and he was
Right.
fired, and you know, they got a huge discount on their wedding and everything.
Yeah.
But
Things like that obviously can happen, but I mean, I'm guessing that you have measures in place to kind of try to.
Yeah, we definitely
those
will
things.
pull your card box earlier in the night when we think that, you know, people have put their cards in there. And if someone's like, where's the card box? Well, we'll go put it
Right,
somewhere.
right.
But yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of that too, especially, you know, it's the south of the state, you know, Milwaukee areas where people steal them from off the
Sucks.
street, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Horrible. Yeah.
But that's why I think it's so important to have somebody like what you guys do, because
We're always watching.
you cannot. Yes, and we cannot be doing. You can only do so many things at once.
Well, and the thing too is, you know, shout out to the venue coordinators. You're amazing. We couldn't do our jobs without you, but they also have a job to do. So they can't. A lot of people will abuse their poor venue coordinators and feel like they're going to do all these things. I don't need a coordinator or a planner. Yes, you do.
Sure.
Because they can't do everything.
Right.
They're concerned with the logistics of their people in their building and not your card box,
Yes.
unfortunately.
Right, right. Do you have a lot, I'm guessing, a lot of great relationships with people in the area? Like,
Yeah.
are you able to sometimes, you know, I don't know, get little discounts? on certain-
Absolutely. Absolutely.
She's like,
yeah.
yeah, of course.
I always steer people towards the vendors that we know do a fantastic job and
Yeah.
that will help support us and support our people for sure.
That's
Because
so
you know
cool.
you want to have everybody have a good vendor.
Yeah, for
and I've
sure.
spoken to a few
Everybody's job
people now, and
easier.
they're like, "Oh yeah, Tori, yeah, we know her."
Oh yeah, everybody. Seriously, I've never heard anything but great
thank
things
you.
about you guys. And again, that's so important, I think, because and you're never listen. If there's one lesson that Mother Kelly will teach you over here, ma'am,
Love.
I've been doing this for a long. You're never going to make everybody happy.
No, you're not for everybody.
No,
No.
you're never going to make everybody happy. That is still. When I say that out loud, I'm still partially convincing myself of that.
It's hard.
It's
It's hard to not
really
take it personal,
hard.
but it's not
really
you.
hard. But yeah, you can only do
Yep.
so much,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
It's Brandon Landro tells me, and not that I'm comparing myself to these companies, but he's like, look at Amazon, look at Old Navy, Nike, all these places. You're going to have 98%. Everybody, 98% loves them, but there's always going to be that 1 or 2% that's
Yeah.
like, no, I don't like Amazon. I don't shop on there, or whatever.
There is for sure, and you just gotta. It's hard not to take things like that personal, but it's like
It is.
I am not for you, and that's okay because
Yep.
I'm for all these other people.
Exactly. And you got to remember, I used to do that thing where I would obsess about one, thing that kind of went wrong instead of thinking about like the 30 people that were really happy,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
So that's where you got to
That's
kind of just
tough.
like retrain your brain to not go there all the time.
Right.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
Well, I just love everything you're doing. Is there anything else that you want to share with us?
Well, right now, Honey Events has a huge Black Friday sale.
Ooh, Black
Huge.
Friday.
Huge.
Love
I don't
it.
know when this is airing. Before.
This
It'll air
Friday.
this Friday.
Yep.
Oh,
so
okay.
everybody's going to have time.
People have a
Everybody's
week.
going to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's till 11:30. Everything we do is on sale. You will not get this low of a price again because our prices, of course, have increased for 2025. So check that out because it's not coming back.
Listen to this.
That's a bussin'.
She just loves her little sayings.
Oh my God.
Isn't that perfect?
We haven't used that one in a while.
Right? I just thought of it when you were, I'm like, this is perfect for
That
this
is
moment.
amazing.
Black Friday
Black
sale.
Friday.
I love
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
I love that. So
And
like
how do-
now's the time to contact you.
Yeah. How do people contact
Yeah.
you?
How do people find you, Tori?
You can find us at honeywisco.org.
Okay. honeywisco.org.
Yep,
Okay.
or we are on Facebook, Instagram as Honey Wisco, Honey Event Planning and Coordination, LLC. You can find the Honey Shop at Honey Shop Sherwood on Facebook and Instagram.
So
And-
all over the place,
Yeah.
and we'll post everything too on our.
For sure.
When we do the podcast, we also send out a newsletter to everybody in our database. So we'll share your links on there
Thank
as
you,
well.
thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you guys so much. This was so fun.
You. I just
Yeah.
feel like I could just talk.
I feel like
to
I
you
just want to
for
drink coffee all night and
days.
talk to you guys.
I know. Like there's certain things that really excite me. And
If you let Kelly talk about weddings, you will be here until dark. So.
Hey, that's
Yeah.
okay.
I'm kind of a little
That's all
freak
right.
about that stuff. All right. Well, thank you so much. And I just really hope everybody reaches out to you because it really
thank
feels
you
like you just got
guys.
your stuff together,
Thank
Tori.
you. Thank you.
Yes.
I tried.
Well, great job.
Thank you.
All right. Nick,
I'm gonna let you go first.
should we talk a couple weekend events here in the 920?
Yeah. Do
All
you
right.
wanna do the button?
Okay. Oh my gosh. Thank you for reminding me. See, I'm just still learning of all the buttons.
Let's see what's happening this weekend in the 920.
She's so cute.
I just want to bottle that little voice up forever. All right, first, Sip, Style, and Shine Holiday Open House this Friday from 5 to 7. Salon Elan in Appleton. I just like saying Salon Elan. 201 South River Heath Way. So it says, come enjoy our holiday open house. Free hair curling lessons. I could use that.
I could
Free makeup application lessons by their wedding team. They've got $3 tinsel happening, tiny tattoos, boutique clothing, permanent jewelry,
got it all.
Botox by Wish Lane, all sorts of fun things. So this Friday, 5 to 7.
Cool. Okay, so next up we have Friday, 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at 313 Dodge in Kaukauna.
I love 313 Dodge.
Yeah, it's a cool little bar. So they have adult beginner guitar with Kyle Magna. So it's it's aimed for adults. It's not adult in that way. So you ever want to learn how to
I
play the
wasn't
guitar?
thinking that.
Neither
but
was I.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah.
Just
Now
in
we know.
case.
I had to ask before. Ever want to learn how to play the guitar but think your time has passed?
Ooh.
Join co-owner of 313 Dodge, Kyle Magna, for small group adult beginner lessons. We supply the guitar. All you need to do is bring yourself. There
Oh,
are
that's
3
really
half-hour
cool.
sessions and only 4 spots per session. This is held in our wine loft at 313 Dodge. Overall, this is something for someone who was ever curious about playing guitar.
I love that.
Cool.
Get
I've
tickets.
always
I
actually
knew he was
wanted
a
to.
musician. I knew
Yes.
that. I forgot that.
Oh, each ticket gets you a complimentary tap beer or a house glass of wine to enjoy during your lesson as well.
That is so
Aw.
cool. I love doing these every week because I literally do things that I wouldn't have done.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's cool. All right, Social Saturday. Saturday, 8 a.m. Nick, I know you'll be there.
Okay.
Bad Batch CrossFit. 3025 Spirit Court, Unit 111 in Little Chute. 8 a.m. is an optional workout for all fitness levels. 9 a.m. Oh, now here's where it gets good. Vendors, mimosas, Bloody Marys, and more. The vendors are going to be So Many Crafts, as in S-E-W.
They're also
Oh.
in my store. She's amazing.
Oh, I love that. Weldon Arrow Permanent Jewelry and
Love.
Charm Bar. Beauty by Tong, Flash Tattoos, Wild Waters Clay Company, Massages by Kelsey Boge, B-O-G-E. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong, Kelsey. Drinks and Food Bites, sponsored by Fox Valley Meal Prep. Yes, mamas, we have a kids area, so come enjoy some time with us. Very cool.
Cool.
Yes.
Saturday morning.
Fun.
Next up, Saturday at 10:30 is Holiday Planters at Roots on 9th, 1369 9th Street, Green Bay. We're here to help you create stunning holiday planters that will make your home shine this season. Join us for a hands-on workshop where you'll craft a beautiful custom planter perfect for your porch or patio. Included in the class is pot, soil, and a fresh mix of evergreens. A wide range of fun embellishments available for purchase, from birch branches and jumbo pine cones to glitter sticks and ornaments. There's something for everyone. $48 per person. They say bringing your own container? ? No problem.
No problem.
We'll adjust the price the day of the event.
Very cool. That's really fun.
They do not offer refunds.
Okay, well, and it says where do you sign up?
Visit rootsgb.com to sign up.
Beautiful. That looks like fun.
I want
All right.
you guys to do my commercials.
We,
I
you know
want
what?
you to do it.
I know, he's really good at this stuff.
Honey.
He really is.
Yes.
He really is. Handmade Harvest Makers Market. Handmade Harvest Makers Market. Woo! Sunday, 10 a.m. The Mark Supper Club, 3177 French Road in De Pere. Have you done any events out there? That's another kind of banquet facility.
No, no, I haven't. But that is, you're right.
Well, it says, welcome to the Handmade Harvest Makers Market. As the leaves turn and the air grows crisp, it's time to gather and celebrate the season of abundance at our Handmade Harvest Makers Market.
Oh my God.
Say that 10 times
Handmade
real
Harvest Makers
fast.
Market.
I know, right? So it says a variety of vendors. Discover an eclectic mix of vendors showcasing their unique handmade creations, from intricate jewelry and cozy textiles to stunning artwork, holiday decorations, gourmet goodies. Our market is a treasure trove. See, the thing with this stuff is I go to this stuff all the time, and like I have to buy things at every single one, you know, because it's like, well,
You
I
have
gotta
to. Yeah,
spread the
we're
love,
supporting.
right? Exactly.
Yep.
So get a start on your holiday shopping. Support local artisans, unique handcrafted goods. It's perfect timing. Stock up on the holiday gifts, and there will be food and fun as well. So again, Handmade Harvest Makers Market. That is this Sunday, starting at 10 a.m. at the Mark Supper Club. And that's what we've got for this week.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
much.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Well, again, thank you so much, Tori.
guys.
Everybody
Tori.
needs to check everything out that you're doing. I'm going to come visit your store, too,
Yes,
because I
please
haven't
do.
been in there. And I just hope you come back in a year or two and you tell
Yeah.
us, again, like, how you're, like, famous now.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I'll bring you with me.
Well, maybe you'll see her at my wedding in October.
Oh, my gosh, I think I'm going to see you.
You will
at his
see me.
wedding.
Yes.
Weird.
I
Weird.
blocked my calendar out.
I love it. I love it.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Have a great
guys.
weekend, everybody, by the time you're
Yeah.
hearing this.
Yeah.
Bye, Internet.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To contact the Kelly Davies Homes team for all of your buying and selling needs, call 920-791-9047. Find us on Facebook at the Kelly Davies Homes team or go to kellydavieshomes.com.